Yeah, the thing is, I don't even know what just happened. Like my computer just disconnected from the Wi-Fi. There's nothing wrong with the Wi-Fi. I don't know what that was, but anyways, back to the prediction, guys. Sorry, we're back. Um, Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Luffy. So what I was saying was, I think the reason why Luffy lost against Benoit Saint-Denis is because I'll call tech support and she'll be to fix your Wi-Fi. Not even my Wi-Fi, it's my computer. It started overheating and then it just disconnected. I think I need to restart it, but anyways, I'll figure out what's going on afterwards. Um, I hope it's working fine though for you guys right now because it looks a little glitchy on my screen. Let me know if it is. I don't even know. I'll figure it out for tomorrow's stream though. Anyways, I'm gonna go with Luffy because I feel like the reason why he lost against Benoit Saint-Denis, the 70 open tabs say hi. Well, I only have four tabs open, but I could close them, I guess. I could close here. I'll cl like, ugh, yeah, I guess this. Anyways, I'll check. I'll optimize it for tomorrow. Anyways, Benoit Saint-Denis is very intense, very explosive, and Rafael Fiziev isn't like this. Luffy cannot fight an explosive guy. Every guy who he's won against has been slower paced, and that allows Luffy to kind of build his own momentum. Benoit just pushed him, force him to stay on the back foot. This was not a place for like Luffy to operate well on. And I feel like Fiziev is not like he doesn't do anything that is particularly that interesting. You know what I mean? Like he's good all around, but he's also not like I feel like he's just not that much of a threat. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just not seeing like the only way I would see him winning is by decision. But I just feel like Benoit has more I don't know. Like I feel like Benoit would win against Fiziev as well. Fiziev overrated just like BSD. I don't know, dude. I feel like Mauricio Luffy can totally take this. He's actually pretty solid. He's better at fighting technical guys. He's better at fighting technical guys. Um Fiziev is one of these technical dudes that doesn't do anything particularly special, so that's why I'm picking him. I just feel like there's not gonna be too many elements of surprise from Fiziev. I don't know. Fiziev is good against rangy guys. I'm tempted to change my pick to Fiziev. Honestly, I could see that because to me this is also like a 50-50 situation. I'm not gonna I don't think betting on this one is a good idea. I really don't. If you're gonna bet, there's definitely better fights to bet on. Ruffy trained with Volt Camp, Champ Energy. True. True. Yeah. He looked a lot better this time around. Honestly, a lot of the times too, certain fighters learn from their mistakes. We're gonna get into that a bit later, but I think certain fighters do actually learn from their mistakes, and I think Luffy is one of these dudes. So we're gonna go with Luffy. Yeah. Did you hear Gene Silva and Luffy are beefing? I did not. No, what's going on? Let's hear the tea. Let's hear the drama. Okay, let's move on to the next one though. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Dan Hooker. I'm picking Benoit Saint-Denis. I don't know why Dan Hooker brought his child onto the stage, but anyhow, we're going with Benoit Saint-Denis just because Dan Hooker is a fighter that gets destroyed by pressure heavy fighters. We saw this against Gamrot, and I cannot like I just can't pick him after seeing Gamrot do that to him. You know what I mean? Like the fact that Gamrot was able to damage him considerably in such a way makes me not want to pick Dan Hooker to win this fight because I just feel like Benoit is going to do the same thing to him. Um, yeah. And honestly, and also, I know Hooker won that fight with Gamrot, but to me, it honestly felt like it felt like Gamrot actually won that fight. But anyhow, um, like it felt like Gamrot actually did a bit more. But it's a split decision, so it's basically a draw to me. So anyways, I'm gonna go with Benoit Saint-Denis by KO here because I feel like unlike Gamrot, he actually has more KO power. Like he actually has the power, he has the ability to finish, and I don't know that um Gamrot fully possesses this. So we're gonna go with Benoit Saint-Denis. I think it's a pretty decent, I think it's like a pretty straightforward thing actually. Like I feel decently confident about this one. This isn't like a 50-50. This is like a 60, 65, 40, 35. So, yeah. I think he's going to hurt Dan Hooker. I mean, you guys saw what Dan Hooker's face fucking looked like after that Gamrot fight. Come on. Hot take, Dan versus BSD is closer than people think. That's how I feel. I mean, I think the Fiziev fight is closer than people think. Fiziev versus Luffy. And even this one, I think people are tripping. What are the odds for this? Oh, Talton is a minus 350. See, I don't know about that. To me, this is more 50-50. But again, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Okay, guys, we're gonna go to the last fight. We're gonna go to the last fight. Are you excited? Because I thought about this one a lot, and I ended up going with Diego Lopez. And I think he's gonna win by decision. Look at all those 5 L's though. What I know Tai Tuivasa has 5 losses. I know. He's not great. He's not great. But anyways, guys, I almost picked Volkanovski and then after thinking about this a little more and watching back Diego's fight with Gene Silva after the first Volk fight. By the way, just so you know, all of you guys who are picking Volk now, I picked him the first fight. I picked Volk for the first fight, and I was right. You know, I don't, why is my video glitching for you guys? Because it looks like it's glitching on my end. It's very frustrating. Let me try to close as many things as I can here. Anyways, a little bit, but audio is fine. Okay, cool. Okay, well, as long as the audio is fine. So, oh, one sec. So, something I noticed about Diego is that he used to be very, very reactive, especially in the first fight with Volk, doubling down on offense whenever there was a like moment for him to counter. Like he instead of taking a second to figure out how he should react, he would just double down on offense. Um, and this was actually detrimental in the Volk fight because Volk was the one that stayed focused and then was able to counter effectively because Diego was kind of blindly doubling down on offense. Now, in the Gene Silva fight, he did not do this. Immediately, it's something that I noticed is he did not double down on offense like he normally does. And I like it was such a quick adjustment. It was such a quick adjustment that I feel like he's gonna show up way differently to this fight. And he said so himself. He said he learned a lot from that fight with Alex. Um and I even thought to myself like Gene Silva is usually the one that is good at countering, and Diego Lopez was able to evade that completely. I think that this time he's gonna know what to do with Volk, because he's super well rounded, I think, and of course I respect Volk a lot, but I just think that now that Diego Lopez has figured out a way to fucking ground himself, I think he wins, guys. I think he fucking wins. I think this is gonna be a smarter version of Diego. He's improved clearly. from the fight with Volk the first time to the Gene Silva fight. Like there's a clear change in how he showed up. Um, and I think he's worked out his technique. I think it's gonna be, yeah. Again, I respect Volk a lot. I don't think he's gonna finish him by any means. I think it's gonna go to decision, but I think Diego Lopez is gonna win the decision. You know, Lopez has a lot of aura this week. This week too. Yeah, dude. I think it's yeah. Had Volk first fight too, taking Lopez tomorrow. He's gonna fight the same way. Has to cut Volk off. Hmm. I think we'll see, guys. I'm picking three underdogs in this card: Diego Lopez, Torres Finney, and Tai Tuivasa. Let's see if my, insights are correct. Thank you for the $5, Giuliano. Let's see. Let us see. Let us see. Gene Silva is not comparable to Volk. Two completely different fighters. I know, but I'm not trying to compare them as fighters. I'm trying to compare Diego Lopez's approach because that's what I was looking for. I was looking at how he was approaching the fight. Every single fight before Volk, Diego Lopez, how does he react in moments when he should counter? He would double down on offense. Double down on in the fight with Gene Silva was the first time I saw him not do that. And he said that he learned a lot from this fight with Volk before that fight. And I think that's what he learned. I think he learned that doubling down on offense is not the way to counter. Because when you double down on offense, you're kind of fighting in survival mode without much technique, without much like you're not being present. And I think he figured out how to do that in the next fight, like immediately. That's what I'm saying. Do you guys get what I'm talking about? Lopez. I know Lopez could do things to Silva he won't be able to do to Volk, and that's why I think this is gonna be a decision. I'm not like I know I saw. Of course, we saw how Lopez like ragdolled Gene Silva on the ground. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen here, but I do think that Diego is gonna do a bit more in this fight to win. I think Diego's gonna get the win, guys. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna get the win. I mean, guys, what do you have to say about what I said with Diego Lopez not doubling down on offense as his counter? What are your thoughts on that? Like, am I the only one that observed that? Am I tripping about that? Like, what do you think? See you tomorrow, girl. We are beating Volk. Thank you, Jimmy. Excited for the $2. I think we just might. I'm also, that's the thing, is like, I'm rooting for Volk too. I love Volk. He's great. But I just think, Diego Lopez, I think he figured out his technique. I think he figured out what his last weakness was, which was his countering. He figured out how to be like you guys know he used to be this like super explosive dude. That's not how he showed up to the Gene Silva fight. It was the first time. It's not a bad prediction. Let's see, dude. Let's see because this is what I'm gonna look for when that fight's gonna go on at 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. whenever, or probably around 11 actually because the main card. Okay, around 11 or midnight when that fight happens. The first thing I'm gonna notice is Diego Lopez is countering, like how he actually fights back, what he responds with. So we'll see if I was correct. Okay, so let's say he doesn't double down on his offensive, then what? You think Volk will? Volk fought Max the same way, leg kicks and jabs from range. No, what I think is gonna happen, like what happened in the first fight is, um, like Volk would come at him, and instead of like adjusting immediately, Diego Lopez would just like fight back. And as he was fighting back, then Volk would counter him from like a from like a grounded place, right? So this time I don't think Diego's gonna I think Diego's gonna totally bypass that moment where he fights back. And Diego will have like I just don't think Volk is gonna have that chance to make that extra step. You know what I mean? Because Diego isn't going to be so careless this time. The first fight he was careless. That because he was fighting kind of on autopilot in many ways. And usually the autopilot method would work for him, but obviously it didn't against Volk because Volk is extremely tactical and Diego had to show up that way. But he proved that he can show up that way when he fought Gene Silva. Now, I'm not saying he's going to dominate Volk. I'm saying I think he's going to do a little more, and I think he's going to win a decision. That is my prediction. That is what I think is going to happen. You know? Alex has been getting chinny, wouldn't put money on him. Yeah. Diego is solid and might have got better. He definitely did get better. Guys, I'm telling you, I mean, I could be totally wrong, of course, because I'm just a human being, but based on what I observed, this is the pattern that I'm seeing. So, yeah. My favorite picks, let me go over my favorite picks. So, let's start from here. I like Yija. I think that's a pretty I think Yija has like a 70% chance of winning. I like Torres Finney. I think Torres Finney has an 80% chance of winning on God. On God, Torres Finney, he's an underdog, but I love this pick. Cam Rosen versus Cody Burner, just stay the hell away from that. Billy Elicana versus Junior Taffa. I would say Billy Elicana also has like a 65% chance of winning, or maybe more. I don't know. Honestly, Junior Taffa has never done anything that impressed me. Killian Salkild versus Jamie Malarkey. I think Killian Salkild takes it too. I don't unless he gets chinned. I don't think he will though. I think he's solid. Um, we're gonna go with like a KO in the first round actually with this one. Okay. Tai Tuivasa versus Towson Teixeira. I'm going with Tai Tuivasa, but this is like a 50-50 for me. This is a 50-50. I don't know. Same thing with this one. Luffy versus Fiziev. I would just stay away from that one. Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint-Denis. I would say Benoit has like a 60% chance of winning. And with Diego Lopez, I also think it's like a 60% chance, to be honest. Actually, with Benoit Saint-Denis, I would say Benoit has maybe 65 or 70% chance, yeah. This one's a little closer. I would say, yeah, Diego Lopez maybe 55 and Alexander 45. Who beats Volk? Pressure fighters with power. Ilya and Islam Lopez could fight smarter and counter, but what are the chance it works? 50-50. Who has the better ground game? Honestly, I think I think Diego's actually extremely well-rounded in every department. And one thing that Volk has on his side that other fighters don't have, on the ground especially, I think Volk is the reason why he succeeds so much is because he's fucking strong and extremely resilient more than anything else in my opinion. But yeah, Diego was extremely well-rounded. The thing that I think cost him the first fight is his carelessness, and there was a missing piece in his approach, which was his countering, which he never had to worry about because he was never fighting fighters that were on Volk's level. And finally, when he fought Volk, it was the first time he realized, I think that's what it was. The first time he realized, like, oh, I can't just rely on my explosiveness. It doesn't work that way. So, yeah. we'll see. We will see. Again, guys, I picked Volk to win the first fight. Just so you know, I picked Volk to win the first fight. I did not pick Diego. I picked Volk. Now I'm picking Diego. So, I don't know. I don't know. Um, that's just the conclusion I came to after all the research that I did. Again, we're gonna find out tomorrow, but this is my prediction. I got Volk, but he's looking old. That's what I'm saying, and that's what people were saying last time. But last time I was like, okay, yeah, he's looking old, but I do think that Diego Lopez is missing some things. This time, Volk is looking old and Diego is learned. So I don't know. We'll see, guys. We will see. But those are my picks. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Even though my stream crashed halfway through the first one, but yeah. Yes. Yes. Volk moves better in my opinion, better footwork and better ground game, hence the first Islam fight. Lopez has a chin and good hands. I just don't see Lopez out footworking Volk. I see Lopez out countering Volk. That's what I see. I see Lopez winning a lot more exchanges than he did in the first fight. Just because I think that now he like he totally changed his approach, dude. You know what I mean? Before you go, can I get your opinion on Izzy versus Joe Piper, please? I would say that's a fight that Izzy can win, but I would have to do like usually before I make predictions, I refresh my memory by watching their previous fights. But based off of what I remember right now, I would say probably Izzy. Can Diego really outstrike / box Volk? Maybe. Are you out of here? I think he can because I think it's gonna come down to Diego Lopez actually being present. I think that's what it's gonna come down to. So we're gonna see if he can do that. I think he can. Based off what I saw in his last fight, I think he can because it's something I haven't seen him do ever before, and he was able to successfully do it in the Gene Silva fight. So that's what I think is gonna be the biggest thing. And he looked very, very grounded in the face-off, I will say. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out here. We're gonna hit the bowl before we go. Is he a plus 110? Lol, dang. Yeah, I mean because he lost. He lost his last fight, right? Makes sense. Alright. Also, guys, if you want to go check out my breakdown, it's available here on mintedmma.com /events UFC-325. So if you want, go check it out. It's there. And yeah. Also, Coin has his breakdown here as well, if you want to go look at his. Anyways, and all my notes will be there, and it's formatted and all of that. So, okay, thank you guys for hanging out. See you tomorrow at 5 p.m. my time, and wherever you guys are, we'll sync up. Okay, see you tomorrow. Goodbye.